All right, everyone, welcome to Driver's Therapy. Today's gonna be insane because the comment section is gonna be wild because we're gonna be talking about the automotive sports cars, supercar, exotic, hypercar, and ultra-collectible hierarchy. And Elise is with us and she's gonna write it down because if I try to write this down, guys, it would look like, yeah, you wouldn't even be able to read it. And by the way, it's my birthday today. Woohoo!
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, guys. So let's start off. Again, I'm not trying to make anyone mad here. This is what I think, but use that comment section to either get angry or to agree. All right, here we go. All right, so it's gonna be a pyramid, and in the bottom, we're gonna put our sports cars. So we're gonna go ahead and put JDM cars right here. Everything from your Miata to your Honda Civic to your RX-7 to your GTR, I know even the cars I have, to your Supras, JDM, right? Now we know that Supras and R34s and all that, and a lot of NSXs, they're six-figure cars, but we're just gonna talk about the hierarchy of cars, of how they are, just the way that I look at it and I perceive it, and how I think others perceive it too. All right, we're also gonna put domestic cars, your Corvettes, your Hellcats, you know, all those cool Mustang, GT350, GT350Rs, all those cars. And then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna talk about our muscle cars, right? Our old school muscle cars, you know, your Chevelles, your Camaros, your, you know, all those, even those, some of those Mustangs and some of those Camaros, like the Yanko ones and the original GT500s, some of those are like $500,000 cars. We'll talk about maybe some of those one-off cars being way up higher. And then we're gonna talk about our European cars. And what I mean is just your basic Audis, your basic M3s, you know, M5s, maybe your AMGs, you know, just so let's get a little bit more technical. So, and again, I'm making this up, but I'm gonna call it high-end sports cars, right? High-end sports cars. And what is that gonna be? That's gonna be your Porsche 911, your Porsche GT4s, Audi RS6, I think that's a good one. Oh, Audi R8, I know you guys are gonna be like, really? Yes, it is. I'm pretty good. And a lot of this is coming, where I'm getting this information is coming from both prices and how we car people just look at cars. You know, you go to car events, you go to car meets, and you just kind of know the reputation and standing of cars, right? All right, and now we're gonna talk about the new GTR. So we're gonna write R35 GTR, and then we're gonna do NC1 NSX. For you guys who don't know what that means, that's the new NSX. BMW M3 competition GT. I think they also call it GT4 competition. If they call it GT4, that's so lame. So now this is called the high-end sports car, right? We're not calling them supercars. We're not calling them exotics. They're just high-end sports cars. And if you think about it, they're anywhere from 100 to 150, right? All those across the board. That's the golden number. And that's why they're literally in their own class online and out there in public. And then newer NSX is, you know, it's newer NSX than the older one. Even though some older NSXs, like the year 2000s, like an Imola Orange, are actually as worth as much as a new NSX. We'll talk about that here in a bit, but we're just giving you kind of a rough example. All right, so we've got sports cars, we've got high-end sports cars, and now we're getting supercars and exotics. All right, so what does that include? That's going to include your Lamborghini Huracan, Ferrari 458. Well, Ferrari's a little easier. They've got numbers. And then we got Ferrari 488. All right. You know what? Back here, let's go ahead and throw the Ferrari F430, right? I tried to think of the Ferrari F430 as a supercar, but the price that they are and just the setup that they are, they're definitely in the high-end sports cars. At the time, maybe a supercar, but really, it's just, All right, so Lamborghini Huracan, Ferrari 458, 488, we'll just do McLaren, right? Boom, boom. We'll do Porsche GT3 RS, all right. And this is where some of it can be debated as far as, oh, the R8 should be up there, right? But this is where I disagree because the R8, can you really say that a Lamborghini Huracan and an R8 are in the same league? They're not. Could you say an R8's in the same league as a 488? Nah. A brand new Ferrari RA versus a Ferrari 458, maybe on paper, performance-wise, yes, the new R8 will be better, but value-wise, the R8's gonna dump. It's gonna dump, sell. 458's value has been going up every single year. So not only does it make it a very beautiful car, and at the time it was a supercar, but the value still keeps it a supercar. McLaren, I feel like really there isn't a McLaren out there that we could call just a cool sports car. I think it's just an exotic. And Porsche's GT3 RS, if it has RS at the end of it, it's a supercar. I mean, that's just it. And where they get that reputation is that the Porsche, if you try to fight them on that, they're like, we'll take you to the track, because that's where the RS is literally dominates. All right, let's move up here. We're now gonna go to hypercars, right? And this is gonna be real easy. We're just gonna do Pagani. I mean, all carbon fiber, $1 million car. We're gonna do, I know there's an H in front of it. I know we'll figure it out afterwards. And then let's go Bugatti. Are you ready, guys? And Ford. I know you guys are like, what? Yes, the Ford GT. Car's like $1.4 million. It's a hypercar, guys, right? Let's go to Lexus's LFA. All right, so what do all these cars have in common? Not only are they like almost 1,000 horsepower, all of them, but they're all over $1 million, right? Now there's a lot more cars in that range. If we want to get a little more particular, you know, we could talk, but I'm talking about in the same kind of stratosphere as far as age, as far as performance, as far as reputation. And then up here is the fun part, right? Let's do Ferrari 250 GTO, Mercedes Gullwing. Let's do Ferrari F40, 50s cars. 50s, 40s, I think, like the very first ones, right? Oh, how can I forget the McLaren? The McLaren F1, that's one of the most, that's a $20 million car. I think it's like $30 million car, right? McLaren F1, right? That's one of the most coveted cars in the world. So what do these have in common? There's only about a dozen of them or less. And they're super expensive, and they sit in the top of the food chain. And that's why when you have some of the best car shows in the world, like Pebble Beach or whatever you call it, at the end of the day, these are the ones that win best of show. The original Mercedes, the original Aston Martins, the original everything, the beginning. And the reason why is because all of these guys had founders. They have creators, people who thought of the vision, the thought of the Mercedes, thought of the Ferrari, thought of the Lamborghini. And their first creations before they became commercialized, corporate-wise, these were like their purest visions of the car, and that's why they're worth tens of 20s of 30s of millions of dollars. In one case, I think it was $50 million here recently, a Ferrari sold. Now, I can't make myself look bad here, right? Because it's like JDM's all the way down here, right? If you think about it, even in this section right here, you got, you know, Ferrari 458s and 488s. That's 150 to 200. So this is like $200,000 range. You will find the NSXs and the Supras and the Skylines up here, guys. You're seeing them literally come into this range. So you're seeing them, and the reason why, right? And you know where I expect these cars to be at? They're already here pretty much, right? Now I'm talking about reputation and price right now, but they've literally made themselves, you got to think about how far Japanese cars have. They've made themselves where they weren't even on the map, and now they're on the map, guys. Like these guys, they know what a Supra is. They know what a Skyline is. They know what an NSX is, right? They know Japanese cars are cool. But what's happening is that the JDM cars are going to work their way past pretty much these two segments, because in the course of automotive history, the 90s was a special time, and they did not make cars like this. They will never make cars like this ever again. Like never will there be combustion cars like this ever again. But the great thing about history is that history always pays homage to very special cars, and Japanese cars are the most specialist cars, some of the most specialist cars you could find. And that's why coming over here, like the muscle cars, that's why they will also find themselves up here next to the Japanese cars. And that's why you see that already. You already see the GT500s. You already see the vintage pure Corvettes at Barrett-Jackson selling for $300,000-$400,000. These two areas, the older cars, the classic cars, the one-off shoots, the specialty cars, the cars that have automotive history, they're going to find themselves on top of the pyramid. As every year goes on, they make one step towards that pyramid. It's still pretty cool, but remember, there's Lamborghinis out there like STOs and other ones that are like close to $400,000 or $500,000. As a matter of fact, there's a 458 Speciale that's about $400,000. So it's normal to see one-off shoots of these cars, but at the end of the day, I think this is a pretty accurate description of the car world. Well, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Thank you, Elise, for
my best.
for writing it out, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think. All right.